coverage is more important than the perfection. Okay, so rather than becoming an expert in any topic, try to cover all the topics. Try to cover all the topics. Okay, second point is prefer understanding the concepts rather than mugging up the standard name and the number, because the examining team has clearly mentioned that there is no credit allowed for the standard name and the numbers. They want you to know the concepts. They want you to know the applicability of the concepts to the given scenario. They don't want you to know the name and the number. They don't want your knowledge of name and number, which anyways you can see from the Google or see from the standards. They want how well you can apply the provisions of the standard to a given scenario. So focus on the applicability skills, application skills, rather than the mugging up the name and the numbers. Third point is practice at least 5 papers. See, today is 24th of February. You have exams on 4th of March. So how many days you have? 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 1, 2 and 3. So still you have 6 plus 2, 8 days available, right? Even if you solve one past paper every day, trust me, you will get a great grip over the SBR paper, and trust me, still it is doable. Still it is doable. Even if you start practicing the questions now, it is doable. Tejas has a query: will we get marks if we explain the standard and its relevance in a question? See, depends, Tejas, what is the question asking for? Okay, if the question is asking you to apply the knowledge of the standard to the given scenario and you have written the provisions of the standard correctly, you will get the marks for that also. Now, how well you are able to justify your provisions, justify the scenario, you will get the marks for that also. How well you can conclude your answer, how well you can justify the reasoning behind your conclusion, you will get the marks for that also. If there are calculations involved in the question and you have done the calculation correctly, you will get the marks for that also. Okay. So, see, understand, examiner here in this case of SBR is ready to give you marks, but it is you who has to write the answer and give him the content so that he can give you the marks. Okay, so you have to write the contents, and I will guide you. I will guide you in the due process of this top 10 tips. I will guide you each and everything. Now, I was there in five past papers. So how to practice these 5 past papers? How to practice these 5 past papers? There is a process behind this practice. There is a process behind this practice. Those who are attending my Game Changer batch definitely knows this, the process. So the process behind this is, first of all, you need to you can say appear for the test paper, 5 past papers. Now appear for one past paper. Okay, appear for one past paper. Then compare your answer with the suggested answer. Identify your mistakes. Identify your mistakes. Then for those mistakes, whatever mistake you have identified, go and read the suggested answer properly. Okay, now once you have read the suggested answers, then go to your study text or your workbook and read the entire concept surrounding that topic. Okay, then rewrite that answer in a correct manner. Then go to the examiner report. Then go to the examiner report and read the examiner report. Now, how to read the examiner report? You have to find 2 things in examiner report. What? Stronger candidates tend to do this thing. Weaker candidates tend to do this thing. So whatever the stronger candidate tend to do, you have to adopt that. Whatever the weaker candidates tend to do, you have to remove it off. Is that clear to everyone? Is that clear to everyone? Now, one of the common comments from the ACCA examining team in their examiner report, what they have mentioned, when you read the minds, there is a report released by the examiner, which they call it by reading the mind of the examiner. Okay, reading the mind of the examiner. So one of the common comment that they have given there is, students write what they know rather than writing what is required. Okay, so you should first of all understand the requirement. What exactly are they asking for? and then write your answer, rather than just writing, okay, let's suppose a question on leases comes, a question on lease is coming. Now you know the accounting treatment of lease liability properly, but the question is asking for sale and lease back. Now you are writing the accounting treatment lease liability is this much, you have to calculate lease liability like this, you have to do it like this, you have to do it like this. No, not required. Let's suppose a question on revenue is coming, and the question is asking you, please assess if it is the revenue control is getting transferred at a point in time or over a period of time. Now there will be a set of student who will write revenue, revenue recognition we do in 5 steps. Then he will write this is step number 1, step number 2, step number 3, step number 4, step number 5. Now in step number 1 we do this thing. Step number 2 we identify transaction price. In step number 3 we identify this thing. Moid, yes, this will be recorded. So in step number 1 we identify the contract, step number 2 we identify the performance obligation, step number 3 we identify the transaction price, step number 4 we allocate the transaction price to each obligations, and step number 5 we recognize revenue. Now tell me, is the question asking you the 5 steps? No, the question is not asking you the 5 steps. Then why are you trying to write the 5 steps? The question is asking you what? Is the control getting transferred at a point in time or over a period of time? Then start with that paragraph only, na? Start with that paragraph only. That is step number 5. In step number 5 also there are 3 conditions to evaluate whether the control is getting transferred at a point in time or over a period of time. So evaluate, start from those 3 conditions. No need to write this much. So write what is asked rather than what you know. Is that clear, everyone? Is that clear, everyone? So one of the important tip that I can give you is don't write any faltu ka gyan in the exam. Any faltu ka gyan is not at all acceptable. Okay, not at all acceptable. Like if you are watching this session and not liking this class is also not at all acceptable. So please like the session, guys. Come on, all of you, please like the session. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Now, further, how to write an answer? How to write the answers? So always understand. First of all, start with conclusion. Give your conclusion. This is what is the conclusion. But only the conclusion is sufficient? No. Then write the provision of the standard. This is what the standard is saying. And then give your analysis. Without the analysis, your answer is exactly the same like food without salt. Tell me, will you like the food without salt? Will you like the food or will you enjoy the food without salt? Will you eat the food without salt? No, exactly. Even the examiner will not accept your answer without an analysis. So analysis is very much needed. If you are not writing analysis, you are not getting marks for that. Okay, and trust me, in ACCA SBR paper, 70% marks that you get, or rather than 70, I can say 80% marks that you get is for the analysis, and only, I am not moving the screen only, Tejas. Okay, and only 20% marks is for calculations. Okay, only 20 to 30% marks is for the calculations. Rest everything is for the analysis. Is that clear, everyone? Now, sir, can I do selective study and go appear in the exam? No, my dear friends. Selective study is not at all recommended in ACCA SBR specifically. Selective study is not at all recommended. Okay, there are times that the exam is asking you a question from a very small standard and for a quite big marks. So selective study is not at all recommended. If you are doing selective study, you are preparing yourself for the worst. Okay, as I have told in the very start itself, coverage is important. You have to cover the entire syllabus. Bilal is asking, can we grasp the entire syllabus in these few days? Yes, you can do that, provided you have studied properly till now. Definitely you can do it. Definitely you can do it. Okay. Now, additionally, Bilal, we have taken up the revision sessions for all the chapters of SBR. If you want to see, I'll just show it to you. SBR group accounting we have covered, SBR financial instruments we have covered. Now here in these sessions we have helped you revise each and every topics of SBR. So definitely this will help you out, I believe so. Oh, my past student has come here to wish me. Thanks, Nishan. Thanks, Nishan. Now, the next is in the exam, while you are writing your paper, understand, in every paper of SBR, they will give you questions of around 30 to 35 marks, which you can score very easily, Now, sir, what type of questions? Calculate goodwill. Now tell me, calculate goodwill is something which you have already studied in FR, right? Calculation of goodwill is something which you have already studied in FR, right? Revenue accounting is something which you have already studied in FR. Now the same topic is coming up here again, right? So there will be questions of around 30-35 marks, which you can easily write, which you can easily cover off, right? So first of all, try to cover off the easy questions. Okay, try to cover 30-35 marks in the first 1 hour. Okay, and now in the next 2 hours, do the brainstorming for the rest. Okay, now ethical questions, guys. Many of the students, I can say 80% of the students doesn't know how to write an answer on ethics. You know what? The content of the answer that they write in the ethics is perfect, but still when I am evaluating their notebook, I am giving them only 3 out of 10 or 4 out of 10, but not more than 7, not more than 6 or 7. But they have written the content for 7 to 8 marks, but still I am not giving them marks. Why? Because the way they have written is wrong. So then how to write it off? That I will be discussing in the day 2, that is tomorrow. We'll be discussing the question on ethics, wherein I will be discussing with you how exactly you need to structure your ethical answer so that you can score good marks in ethics. There is a wrong notion in the mind of the students that I have to write very long answer in the ethics. No, my dear friend, you are not required to write long answer in ethics. You are just required to write 10 points for 10 marks. That's all. So ethics you might be considering as a difficult topic, but it is not. Ideally, it is not. It is not a difficult topic. It is one of the easiest topic. But yes, you just need to know the approach to write the answer. That's all, nothing else. Then, how to write your answer? First of all, read the requirement. Then read the case study and then write your answer. Sir, why are you telling to read the requirement first? Now tell me, in a question of SBR, see, let's suppose this is a question of SBR. I do have the question of SBR. See, this is question number 1 of SBR, covering page number 1, covering page number 2, covering page number 3. Now tell me, if you are reading this much big a question, tell me honestly, will you remember by the time you are reaching here? Will you remember what you studied here? Tell me honestly, will you remember what you studied the topic here? What was the context here? Will you remember that? No, you won't remember. Then how to resolve this challenge? So what you have to do, rather than reading the question first of all, rather than reading the case study first of all, read the requirement first. Okay, how exactly? I'll show it to you. Just allow me a moment, please. So this is a question number 1. Okay, starting from here is the case study, case study, case study, case study, case study. Now, exhibit 3. This is also a case study. Okay. Now I have not given it here. That is an Excel file, separate Excel file that I will show it to you later on. So, but all these are case study. Then comes the requirement. So now, rather than reading this case study, which I will totally skip, okay, what I will do, first of all, I will read the first part of the question. I'll show it to you. Just allow me a moment. Allow me a moment to show it to you. Okay, I'll open the ACCA practice platform to show it to you. Just allow me a moment, please. Yes. Can you see the screen? Just a minute. It is loading, I believe. SBR exams. Can you see ACCA practice platform, guys? Can you please confirm if you can see ACCA practice platform? Cool. I'll open the December 23 resume. So this is how your exam will start. Next. Now, see, first of all, you have to read this one. First of all, you have to read this one. A small part which will give you the thought, which will give you an idea. Okay, this is what the question is asking about. First of all, you have to read this. First of all, you have to read this, and then you will get a fair idea. Okay, this is what is the question asking about. Then after that, there are 3 exhibits: exhibit 1, exhibit 2, exhibit 3. Tell me, will you go and read the exhibits now? No. Then what will you do? You will directly jump to the requirements. Directly jump to the requirements. Now, read the requirement just once. Just read the requirement once. Sir, why are you asking us to read the requirement first? Because once you read the requirement and then you are reading the exhibits, you will get to know that, okay, in this exhibit, what is my answer? What exactly you need to find in this one? Okay, you will get to know what exactly you need to find in this exhibit. You will get an objective behind reading the exhibit. You will get an objective behind reading the exhibit. So how will you approach? I am trying to say it again. I will say it again. First of all, read the introductory paragraph of the question. First of all, read the introductory paragraph of the question. Then go to the requirements and read the requirements in detail, and then go to the exhibits, and then go to the exhibits. Is that clear to everyone how you are required to approach a answer or a question? Is that clear to everyone? Wonderful. Now, coming back to our topic. Okay. Many a times students ask me, sir, am I required to match the level of suggested answer? No, my dear friends, you are not at all expected to match the level of suggested answer. Then sir, why are you telling us time and again to read the suggested answer? I will tell you again and again to read the suggested answer. Why? Because once you read the suggested answer, you will get to know, okay, this is how I need to write my answer. But now when you see, when you understand, okay, this is how I need to write the answer, are you expected to meet that level? No. But then what is my expectation? My expectation is you are required to reduce the gap, not match the level. Okay, not match the level, but the expectation is to reduce the gap as much as possible, but not to match that level. Neither me nor the ACCA examining team is expecting you to match the level. Is that clear, everyone? Is that clear, everyone? Now, professional marks. Professional marks. How to score professional marks? See, there are total of 4 professional marks. In question number 1, there are no professional marks. In question number 1, there are no professional marks. In question number 2, there are 2 professional marks. In question number 3, there are 2 professional marks. And in question number 4, there are again 0 professional marks. Since I am discussing only question number 1 today, I will not be talking about professional marks. When tomorrow I will be discussing about question number 2, so I will definitely discuss how to score professional marks. Okay, but yes, I have separately made up a video on how to score professional marks. If you want to watch that, you can do that. Otherwise, you can continue in the tomorrow's class. Again, I will be discussing how exactly you have to score good marks in this 4 professional marks. Okay, how will you score good marks in this 4 professional marks? Is that clear to everyone? Is that